The Saitianes told us the Dacianes were fighting among themselves. Promised we could keep all cattle we could carry back. Then they asked us not to it captured slaves. I, WoF, in agreement, Zaba, former Vino raider, carried curry slave.
I didn't want to bring the Vanu with us. They fight on foot and will slow us down. On top of that, the savages might just eat the slaves we capture. Bilex Kateva Noble.
I was reluctant to join this new United Dacian army of Dotos. But after I heard we were finally going to fight the Scythians, I joined. Denzibalos, former Tsarmice city guard.
In the autumn of 275 BC, while the whole of Dacia was getting to terms with being united under one king. The new Dacian king, Dotos of the Getae, was faced with his first major crisis as king. The Dacians were plagued by slave raids from the east for the whole 4-year unification campaign. Mostly by the Catieroi, the most western tribe of the Scythian horse lords. Due to the internal struggles, the various Dacian chieftains and kings were unwilling to face the raiders, fearing the loss of too many men and falling behind their local rivals. Yet now, with the unification of Dacia, a new era has begun. The Catieroi threat could be properly addressed. Chief Rigazis of the Potula Tents, who was assigned regent of the east and ruled from Petrodava, the province most affected by the Catieroi raids, kept antagonizing the raiders and made it clear to them, Petrodava is no longer their backyard slave farm. It worked. The proverbial bear has been poked. King Falda Ranos of the Catieroi sent in 2 armies to break the newly found Dacian backbone. They even enlisted the aid of the semi-autonomous Voinu Slav tribes under their domain, by promising them land and plunder. In fact, so confident was King Falda Ranos, that he even brought a huge baggage train with the army, to carry back all the loot. King Dotos, on the other hand, still hard at work reforming his united Getae army, integrating willing veterans from the other tribes, almost fell into an ambush set by the Catieroi. Only the actions of a brave spy named Siru averted a full-blown ambush. Yet King Dotos was still cornered by the 2 Catieroi armies not far from Petrodava. Rigazis Wormtongue, the regent of the east, who was raising an army of his own. An army with a small corps trained in the Greek hoplite style, had to stop training and recruiting and hurry to the aid of his cornered king. Followed by a small furious rabble organized by an ambitious noble from Petrodava, eager to take revenge on those who raided them for the past 4 years. The following battle was known as the Pferdemetzgerei.
Welcome to the 13th installment of Let's Get It On. Now this is my 6th or 7th attempt trying to say 13th. It either comes out as 13th or 13th. I give up. This is the final attempt. 13th. Anyway, we are being invaded by evil centaurs and cannibals, but more on that later. Catieroi have finally invaded us and caught us somewhat unprepared. I also never fought a calf-centric army, so I'm curious. But no more spoilers alert. That's feedback I was given, so I will try to curve my augury. Since we are starting to build a real backbone to an army that is supposed to serve us for many years to come, I guess we should start getting to know some of my imaginary friends. Like this guy, who I will be naming Danzibalos. He's the commander of the Chosen Spears, the new elite unit we recruited. But in my imaginary headcanon, he used to be the commander of the chosen spears the city guard in Sarmisegetusa, if you remember that battle. And he was convinced by the new regent of Sarmisegetusa, Don Scorleone, since he was still respected in the city, to go and find employment elsewhere. So he somewhat reluctantly joined King Dotos's army. So henceforward, this unit will be known as Nancy-Balos's men. They are formed by veterans of other units and come from all the United Dacian tribes. They will form the center of our line, and they will be assisted by 2 units of spear. The more veteran Petrodava center, who were ironically moved to the left, the more honorable place in the formation, and another just a greenhorn unit of spears on the right. Instead of the Axemen, who will be serving with Rigozus from now on, we have the Sika sword units. You can't really see the swords because they are holding their pilums, but they have cool Sika swords. They will serve the same function as the Axemen used to do, to charge the units that are pinned by our front line. The archer line, also known as the Dipaxian line, because of one of these guys, I guess. Oh, this guy, yeah, the one with the hair, probably. Dipax, leader of the Arsonists, our Dacian mercenary archers that serve us well in all engagements. And if you remember, they burned down the towers of Sarmisegetusa. Now Dipax is basically a cowardly weasel, but he's very respected. More than this guy, Komozoi, their Dotos appointed paymaster, because the men trust him. Last time when they were basically sent to their death, he called the retreat, so the men follow him. The actual Dipaxian line is made out of the Arsonists, and we also have what was left of our OG slingers, all bunched up into one unit, and also a totally greenhorn unit that we recruited recently, and this will be their first fight. And we have the Kings of the Hill, the youths that are performing well in almost every encounter. And last but not least, the iconic unit of any Dacian army, big naked men who have nothing to compensate for. We have the local variation, the South Dacians, somewhat new unit, and they only saw battle in our Sarmisegetusa siege, and they tried to to storm the gates and routed. So, but they're eager to show us what they are actually worth. And we have again all the remnants of the 2 units of mercenaries, all bunched up into one nice unit of all the survivors. I did give them a nickname. I don't know if it actually ended up in the recordings, but I refer to them as the arrow collectors, because if you remember, in one of our first battles, actually in our first battle in the Pelendava Civil War, they really got exposed to enemy fire, and we got that really nice picture that I should also show here of that guy collecting arrows with his bum. And they also routed in the Battle of Sarmisegetusa, not managing to storm the gates properly. So, but they are mercenaries. I guess they are less eager to show us what they are made of. And I almost forgot Kostico himself, yet again starting the battle, bravely hiding in the woods. Kostico of the Kingslayers, the mercenary cavalry that we have. He really needs no introduction. Killed 2 kings and really saved our ass in the Bastarnos forest ambush. Recently not doing so well. His unit didn't really recover from the disastrous charge in the Bloody War Summit of 77. That's almost 3 years ago, and he's still up to only 54 out of 90. And this is our main formation with Costico in the woods, and we are being joined by 2 other armies. The Warden of the East, Rigozus Wormtongue himself, commanding the leftovers of King Dotus's army, 2 units of X and Malva line of 2 units of militia. What he also added is 1 unit of Hoplites. Well, the Dacian version of Hoplites don't really look like it, but they fight the same. So this is here his influence by the Greeks. And he also recruited some slings and I think 1 unit of cavalry. Him and the cavalry are going to join Costico in the woods, and the other army, because I really didn't know how much time I have, so they just we bunched up into one huge army as fast as we could. And the other army that joined us is basically the peasant rebel. The peasant rabble. These are actually citizens that are really angry at being raided by the Scythians for so long, and they are eager to take revenge. What we are fighting, thematically enough, are the basis of 2 mythical creatures. The Cathiaroi are Scythians, and they are arguably the basis for the Centaur myth. And who we also are fighting are the Voinu. Now the Voinu, to be honest, I didn't know anything about them, so I became curious and I googled them. Not much was known about them, not even back in their time. Like even Herodotus estimated where they lived, and he was kind of really off. He put them somewhere in today's Poland and Belarus, but they were more well, from archaeological findings, they were more in the Ukraine region. But what's really interesting is that they found in excavations in sites related to them markings of teeth on human bones. So they were, I mean, these are clear traces of cannibalism, which is interesting. And Herodotus also wrote about the Androphagoi, the man-eaters. So the Voinu are probably the basis of the werewolf legend, the evil werewolf, the man-eating wolf people of the later Slavic legends. So interesting, I think. We can't really see their numbers yet, but they have 2 armies. They will be coming in waves with lots of cavalry. So this is gonna be a tough fight. And no more augury, so who knows, maybe we win, maybe we lose. Now let's take a look at the enemy, the first unit of the enemy that comes into range. Wonder what will happen to them. Oh, looks bad. Yeah, they didn't survive for long. We have many archers. Now the Denzibalos' men are about to get engaged by the enemy first wave. Our main trick pony. We are sending the really heavily defended Chosen Spear to attract everything, and then we countercharge with the Sikas. And we finally can actually see the Sikas, the actual swords. I really like the Sika swords, they're nicely curved. Let's keep an eye on the Zibalos himself. It's this guy. Okay, we already sounded the shield wall. They're actually charging really nice, like trying to pincer with 2 infantry units and then charging in with the cavalry. So let's look for Danzibalos. I already lost sight of him. And they stopped the cavalry charge, which is nice. Come on, where is Denzibalos? Is he dead? Would be hilarious. He's supposed to be in some really fancy schmancy type of armor, but they are really holding well against the Voino and some really nicely dressed Scythians. I really love their sense of style. They look like men in pajamas. Any eyes on Denzibalos himself? I think he was here somewhere. Oh, come on, Denzibalos, where are you? Supposed to be leading your men. And here is Denzibalos standing standfast with his men, really holding the line against an onslaught of Voino and Scythians. Oh, and by the looks of it, they're even showing some initiative. I think this is like game mechanically speaking. This is a phalanx unit, and luckily for us, the Scythians, the Cathieroi, were mostly treating their light cavalry as actually these are horse archers, but instead of more charging with them and being more mobile, they just treat them as an archery unit, and they're actually exchanging fire with our own archers, and it's not going well for them, not at all. They are much bigger targets, having horses and stuff. Oh, and this is a nice military maneuver. This is where our Denzibalos' men are situated. They have attracted everything, and then we counterattacked with the Sikas, and now we sent one unit of folksmen, not even army folksmen, just the angry men from Petrodava, I think. That just free unit of basically militia that decided to join us, and we managed to flank them. And now they will charge, and I think they will kind of freak out the werewolves, the Voino, and the Voino will retreat quickly because they were really left exposed. And as you can see here, these are more horse archers that decided to trade shots with our own units, and yeah, don't do that. You're supposed to come in the back and charge with them. And on the other flank we have Rigozus' own Hoplite units. The Dacian Hoplite units are taking their place as our main defenders, and the Green Hor units were engaged by some Scythian X-Men, and they're actually doing some I don't know if they are doing that or just the AI is a bit weird, but they're shooting at them, a unit that is somewhat heavily armored and with shields, instead of, let's pan a bit, just slightly to their left, there's naked men with no shield, no armor, no nothing. The enemy should really shoot at them. Anyway, we are starting to show some more initiative now. We are sending basically the fagsmen, the folksmen, to do their thing, to flank enemy units. I really like this kind of maneuver. We got really fast and nicely to the back of the enemy, and we are going to charge. And the silly man with their pajamas won't like this at all. At all. Yeah, they already broke point. We more or less took care of their first wave, but they're gonna keep on coming, and they're actually gonna concentrate their cavalry on this flank, where Rigozus' hoplite are situated. They got charged badly from the side, some really good maneuvering by the Scythians. We did our best to reposition them and countercharge with whatever was available in the area. Anyway, we managed to stop their first few onslaught, and now we're just engaging some Voino and some more Scythian axemen. But the main threat is the cavalry unit, because the only thing that can really stop them, because we're engaged with most of our units, are just 2 units of militia from Petrodava, from the garrison army. Some of our worst fighting men, only the actual townsmen would be worse. This makes our flank really vulnerable, and they're gonna do their best to stop them. But as you can see, there's just a lot of them. But here, these are our cavalry. This is actually Kostico that came all the way from the forest to hunt for better prey. And again, he kind of saves the day. I actually moved him from over there because I was afraid he will get into lots of fighting, because I'm really trying to conserve his unit and pump up his numbers. But again, he managed to find himself in the thick of it. This is us really trying to get rid of the Scythian cavalry. And here we can see the Scythian baggage train. I think it's a somewhat buggy unit. Meanwhile, on the left flank, our own cavalry popped out, and we are using them to throw some javelins at the enemy heavy cavalry that haven't engaged yet. And then I see some light skirmishers, and I decide to charge at them, to basically try and delay the main second and third wave from getting at us. And it didn't go so well, again with the augury. But yeah, I very quickly decided this is a bad idea, and we are running away. But yeah, this was costly, but I think cost effective. Just the few minutes that we got from all of them bunching up, and also throwing all the javelins at the not so important unit, will save us in the long run. Here we are slightly reforming to be more prepared to engage the blunt of the second wave. And funnily enough, on the left flank, the main combat units that are going to engage are our old Malva lines, the 2 OG militia units that we used with King Dotos and are now under Rigozus' command. So it's funny how they keep showing up, even though by now they are not our best troops, but they're still doing some really heavy lifting. They will pin down most of the Scythians and even take a really bad charge from some Scythian heavy cav. This is a big one. Here we are trying to flank them with everything we have. These are just angry citizens and all kind of riffraff that we got from the garrison army that joined us. Actually, speaking of riffraff, these are actually riffraff. These are the 2 units of citizens, like really angry wives and angry husbands of people that the Scythians enslaved. And I will actually be... no more augury. We will see what they do. And this is some carnage.
Thanks to Zalmoxis that explained to us that men have immortal souls and they are reincarnated on death. Otherwise what we are doing here would have been horrifying.
Here there's some really big engagement with the enemy heavy cavalry. Who are they engaging though? They're actually engaging some Sika units, and even our youths showed up to try and help, because this is, I think, the king himself, the Scythian king that I forgot his name, Phalandaros or something like that. So this is some really heavy exchange here, because we really don't have sword units are not really good against horses, and these are the best horses that they are: Scythian, heavy armor, and royal. So yeah, they disengage, but they can still do lots of damage. Meanwhile, we're really breaking their Voinu and their X-Men. And actually, by this point, most of their front line broke. We even managed to get to their back line and kill their baggage train. And we can even catch a glimpse of the famous Scythia Yoginis that can levitate. So yeah, I really think baggage trains are a buggy unit. So I think this is us basically winning this. It was a fairly one-sided engagement. Well, costly, but we just had better men. We had some elite units, and they could handle everything the Scythians could throw at us. Now what's funny here is that the citizens are chasing and killing all of the fleeing Scythians. Talk about revenge. Come on, catch them. Give me a nice kill for the camera. Oh yeah, check out this angry woman. See, I don't know why this really amuses me. And we are also getting into the parades. Yeah, we have 3 separate parades, but I think it's not by army, it's just by what's close. Here someone really didn't get the memo. Let's see if what's his name, Denzibalos, survived the battle. Yep, here he is. Doesn't even celebrate. Another day, another battle. I really miss my family in Sarmisegetuza. And it seems like Rigozus himself came to organize this part of the army into a proper parade. Let's see if we can actually see Rigozus. Yeah, I think it's... yeah, this one. Hello, Rigozus. And this is his personal hoplite unit. Why, you're tired? Guess we should name this guy. So any suggestions in the comments? And yeah, we won.
Now normally at this point I do a showing of the numbers, but since in Rome 2 you can't really see the statistics of the other 2 armies that joined, I can't really comment on most of them. So just a broad look. We lost 708 men, which is roughly like 80% of the army, but I think most of this also come from the garrison. The one unit that really got slaughtered by the enemy king were a unit of Sika swords. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.